everybody, and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. This weekend it's Southampton away. We're down on the south coast. It's a Sunday game, 2 o'clock kickoff. Really looking forward to it. It's another vital 3 points. United have got to continue to climb the table with the 3-1 win at Goodison, and then the 1-0 struggle really against West Brom at Old Trafford. At least it is 2 wins on the bounce in the league, and then obviously the win the other night with 3 wins on the bounce in all competitions. Let's try and make it 4 wins on the bounce and 3 on the bounce in the league, and try and keep building and try to keep climbing the league table. I've had a look at the league table. Southampton are lying in 5th. They're a strong team at the minute, Southampton, so it's going to be a really tough game. But even though they are in 5th and we've had such a poor start, if we can beat them, we move to within a point of them. So I think it's important in that respect. You might think, wow, what's it coming to when we're trying to get to within a point of Southampton? But as I say, we have got to keep climbing the league, and climbing the league means gradually catching up with teams and overtaking teams. So it is vital that we can win it, and that's just part of it, that we will be only a point behind Southampton, I'm afraid, if we do beat them. So it's important for that reason. I noticed that it was mentioned on the screen that United are chasing a club record of 8 away league wins on the bounce. If they win this weekend at Southampton, they'll have won 8 league games away from home on the bounce for the first time in the club's history. And I'm absolutely astonished by it, by the fact that, the form has been so up and down. We've had a couple of really good long periods of a couple of months of good form, but we've also had a couple of months of poor form under Ole. So to find that he can break this club record the club record, I assume, obviously at the minute must be 7 away wins on the bounce in the league. If we can break that record, I think it's just astonishing, with all the successful teams and all the titles that we've had, and so many years as Sir Alex as manager and Sir Matt as manager, and to say that we've never won 8 away league wins on the bounce, and we could do that or achieve that this weekend, I find it absolutely astonishing, as I say. So let's hope we can do it. That's just an extra thing added to the fact that the 3 points are so vital. He was asked about the fitness of the players. He mentioned Phil Jones again. Phil Jones, he said, is going to be out until after Christmas. Obviously, no disrespect to Phil, but it's no loss in as much that he's been out for many months. So there's no point mentioning that as if that's a reason for us to be missing a player, if you like. We're not really missing him because he's been out for such a long time. Then he also said that Paul Pogba and Scot McTominay are both unlikely to be fit on Sunday. Obviously he's not been out for such a long time, but Pogba's not really been starting many games in the league, so I don't think it's such a loss really. In a nutshell, if Pogba was fit, I don't think he'd have been starting anyway, so that also is not really a massive loss, I'm afraid. Scot McTominay starts most league games. Obviously his preferred pairing is normally McTominay and Fred, so I'll come to what I think the team might be shortly. But obviously there's a space there, really. In the league, McTominay normally starts, and it's looking like he won't be fit this weekend. Jesse Lingard trained. He said he's trained for a couple of days with the squad, and could easily he will be back in the match day squad, I think. But I doubt whether there'll be a place for him on the bench. Obviously, we don't get 12 substitutes on the bench like we did the other night for the Champions League game. I think it's 6. I think you can have on the bench in the Premier League. He also mentioned Wan Bissaka, Lindelof and Marcus Rashford. They all had slight knocks on Tuesday night against Basaksehir, but he said they're all fine, they've all trained and they're all fit to play. So that's good news. And then he was also asked about Van de Beak and Cavani. Neither of them have had a lot of football. And I think the questioning was, obviously, they've played a full game on Tuesday night, so will they be fit and ready to play on Sunday? And I thought Ollie's answer, it was a breath of fresh air, really, because it's only the other week that he was complaining about having played on a Wednesday night and then having to play at 12:30 on a Saturday. And he said, this week we've played Tuesday night and we don't play until 2 o'clock on Sunday. So he said they've been pleased to actually give the players a day off this week. So along with that, he said Van de Beek and Cavani, even though they played in the last game and played a full game, as they did on Tuesday night, they're both fit and raring to go if selected on Sunday. I think that might be a clue as to what he's actually going to go with. I might be wrong, but I think it might be a clue. I've got a feeling they'll both start, but I'll come to that very shortly. I'll name what I think my team might be. Obviously, McTominay and Fred is his normal starters in the centre of the midfield. In fact, let's start from the keeper. Obviously, De Gea is going to be in goal. He's just said that Wan Bissaka and Lindelof have trained. They're going to be fit to play. So I think it'll be Wan Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Alex Telles. I omitted to mention Shaw. When I mentioned the injured players, he did speak about Luke Shaw. He said Luke Shaw's training on the grass now, but not with the team. So I would imagine there'd be a couple of weeks left yet for Luke Shaw to be readily available. So I think obviously it'll be Telles at left back. In midfield, as I say, it's often McTominay and Fred. If he wants to go with the same format, and have the two defensive-minded midfield players, which is what he turned his season around with. Really, after the first 3 games, which were disastrous. The first game where he went with McTominay and Fred was Newcastle, where he won 4-1, and the results have swung around dramatically since those first 3 games. The results and the performances, and it's been based really on going more defensively and starting with McTominay and Fred, as well as 2 wide players at first who track back well. So if he was going to go with the same format, it's a natural spot for Matic, or a chance for Matic to get a game next to Fred. But I think, having heard his comments about Van de Beak, I think Van de Beak will start. So I think he's going to go with Van de Beak and Fred. I mentioned the other day that it's okay at Old Trafford against a team who, no disrespect to them, but I think they'd be a struggling team if they were in the Premier League. Basaksehir I'm talking about. And we played well. We won 4-1. It was a great result. It was an important win. But they still had plenty of opportunities. They had 2 or 3 clear-cut chances, and they had 2 or 3 half chances, and a few decent attacks, more so than you'd have fancied them to have. In fact, at 3-1, they hit the crossbar with a cracking effort that came back off the crossbar. Had that gone in, it could have been a scary last 10 minutes, and the manager saw fit to actually bring Matic on to try and shore it up a bit for the last 10 or 15 minutes. Matic came on and played alongside Fred. But I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to chance it. I think it might be risky. At the same time, we could end up scoring 2 or 3 goals, even 4 goals. It could happen. But I really think it's a bit risky, me, to play with so many attacking players in the team. So I think he's going to chance it. I think he's going to go with Van de Beek and Fred as the 2 central midfield players. I think he's going to go with Bruno at number 10, and he's going to go with Rashford, Cavani and Marshall. So in other words, the exact same starting lineup that started against Basaksehir on Tuesday night. Obviously, I'm aided by the fact that I've seen what he said in his press conference. I think McTominay might well have got his place back for the league game, but now that he said McTominay's not fit, it makes it a little bit easier for him to go with that same lineup. So I'm pretty sure that he will do that, and I think Matic will find himself on the bench still, I'm afraid. I would probably go with Matic and Fred. I don't know. A lot of people think Van de Beek could play wide on the right. I don't think he'd let you down wide on the right. He came on wide on the right on Saturday against West Brom, but he tucked in field quickly, and Bruno had to switch back out to the right. So I'm not so sure it suits him. The type of game that Van de Beek plays, look, he's a clever player, he's very intelligent, he understands the game. I'm sure he could do a decent job. But a player like him, you must have seen the way he played the other night. His one-touch and his two-touch football, and how bright he is, and the way he gets people into different situations. That type of player needs to be in the centre of the field, whether he's a central midfield player or as a number 10. He can put people in down the right, down the left. He lays the ball off as well. He receives it again and he looks to go forward. He just typically is a player who needs to be in the centre of the field. So as much as he wouldn't let you down playing wide on the right, and I don't think he would let you down. I just think he's more suited to being in the centre of the field. He'd be happier being in the centre of the field, and I think he'd play better being in the centre of the field. He's also attack-minded though, and it could, if he does go with that team, I do feel as though it could be a little bit attack-minded for a team that are lying 5th in the Premier League. We could come unstuck. You could come unstuck anyway. It's going to be a tough game. You could come unstuck anyway. But I just think it might just be a little bit too extravagant. But there you go. I think the starting lineup will be the same as it was on Tuesday night. I think it'll be David De Gea, Wan Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Telles. I think it'll be Van de Beek and Fred as the 2 midfield players, with Bruno at number 10, Rashford wide on the right, Martial wide on the left, and Cavani at number 9. That's on Sunday at 2. Premier League game tonight. There's Crystal Palace v Newcastle at 8 o'clock. That's on Amazon Prime. I'm going to watch that. I think there's nothing else really worth watching this evening. I don't often watch Liverpool's games. I watched Brighton and Hove Albion last week play against Aston Villa. I was particularly impressed with Danny Welbeck. I love watching ex-Reds and seeing how they're doing wherever they go in their careers. And I thought Danny Welbeck looked absolutely quality last week. He scored a really good goal at Villa. He was bright. He was all over the field. Good touches. He just looked a quality player, Danny Welbeck, last week. So I'd love him to have a good game tomorrow against Liverpool. So it's Brighton v Liverpool tomorrow at 12:30. It's on BT1. I'll watch that. If it's a dead duck after half an hour, it's 2 or 3-0 for Liverpool, which could always happen. I'll probably switch it off, but I will watch that game. Also tomorrow, you've got City versus Burnley at 3 o'clock. I don't think I'll bother with that one. I'll probably will watch Everton versus Leeds. Leeds have impressed me. Everton started brilliantly, and they went off the boil a little bit, but they're picking up again. I think that could be a good game. Everton Leeds. I'll watch that at 5:30. That's on Sky Sports main event at 5:30, and then the evening game tomorrow is West Brom versus Sheffield United. If the wife will let me keep it on, I might keep that one on as well. But once I've watched 2 games during the day, I might be fair and switch that one off and let her watch a film. So I hope you've enjoyed that little show. If you enjoyed that show, please smash a like on the video. Please subscribe. Tell all your friends. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anyone. Keep stum.